Welcome students to the next session of compensation management, and this session is a revision session. Topic of today's session is executive compensation plan. Here we will be addressing salary structure of top, or you can say core management team at the top level management. Main highlights of this session: we'll be discussing meaning, objectives, components of executive compensation, various theories related to executive compensation components, that why they are paid more, why CEOs are paid more. This is the highlighted question. I'll be sending a video also on executive compensation, at how various performance metrics, incentive schemes, strategic compensation management, all these highlights are discussed in that brief video. So let's start with the meaning. What do you understand by executive compensation? Executive compensation means salary structure of top executives. And the purpose is how to pay to various management positions at a highest level. For example, how to design salary structure of CEOs, presidents, vice presidents, MDs, managing directors, and general managers. What are various features? What should be considered whenever we are going to sit and design compensation structure of executive compensation? Very important, the overall executive pay depends on organizational performance. And managerial compensation is different from wage and salary schemes, which is meant for all levels of employees in the organization. So executive compensation designing is totally different from compensation designing of all other levels of management. There is a different compensation committee to address the designing. Important role is played by all board of directors. Secrecy is maintained in respect of executive compensation also. Few examples I've taken from Wikipedia. Some examples, 2-3 examples, the highest paid Indian employees in 2019-2020. So Tech Mahindra, and CEO of this multinational information technology and IT solution provider organization. In 2019-2020, Runani received a salary of rupees 150.7 crore, which includes all the fringe benefits, all the bonuses. The fifth largest service provider, Tech Mahindra, it pays the highest salary. When we compare this structure to TCS, Infosys, or Wipro in higher management, so this is coming as one of the best paid organization. Second example, Mr. Anil Manibhai Naik, L&T Group, engineering group in India. He's also a Padma Vibhushan candidate. India's second highest civilian award, and in salary structure in 2019-20, 66.14 crore. Third example, Kumar Mangalam Birla, organization name Aditya Birla. His salary for the fiscal year 2019-2020, 22.5 crore. Tata Sons Chairman Chandrasekharan, remuneration for the financial year 2019, 65.25 crore. So when we are taking care of these kind of compensation plans for the top level management team, one more example, that this is 19% increase over financial year 2018 compensation, and this includes commission also, commission of 47 crore. So now see the gap, 55 and 47 is all about your fringe benefits. So after discussing these examples, four basic tools which we can identify for the executive compensation package: base salary, allowances, incentives, and perks. When we address base salary, so base salary is based on types of job, size of the organization, type of the industry, the organization setting, capability of any organization, and region is the last factor in terms of base salary of executive compensation. So the major part of components of compensation, it reflects bonuses, commissions, profit sharing bonuses. So annual bonus is tied by the formula to share return on investment, and a very important role played by board of directors. Very important component, ESOPs. So when we talk about incentives, incentive can be in the form of ESOPs, the employee stock ownership plan. So a few examples in further slide we have taken. Phantom stock appreciation, right? So we'll be addressing ESOPs in different revision session. In brief, I can highlight some types of stock options. So phantom stock is a method for companies to give their management employees a bonus if the company performs very well financially. So this stock provides a cash bonus or a stock bonus based on the value of stated number of shares to be paid out at the end of specified period of time. Second is SAR, stock appreciation right. It is much like phantom stock, except it provides the right to monetary equivalent of the increase in the value of specified number of shares over specified period of time. But this can be paid only in shares. So the main difference is that it cannot be paid in cash. The term which is important, two terms, profit sharing, gain sharing. Profit sharing is an example of variable pay plan. In profit sharing, company leadership designates a percentage of annual profit as a pool of money to be shared with the employees or a portion of employees, such as executives. Gain sharing is based on productivity, the percentage of productivity, increase in productivity of the organization. Some more examples are taken, non-monetary also, or indirect benefits. So flexible hours, various kinds of bonuses, adoption assistance, child care assistance, educational assistance, employee assistance programs, work-life balance programs, life insurance, premium life insurance, long-term care insurance, companies, vehicles. Few examples to be mentioned here. Why we are today? What is the purpose of giving big packet of compensation? One is the financial motive, and the second is what is the bottom line. Now see a beautiful equation: flexibility plus engagement is equal to a happier work environment. So not only the financial factor which motivates various executives, also whenever we give non-financial elements, like there's a flexibility, there is empowerment, there is involvement, there is open door policy in terms of two-way communication, everyone is engaged, it leads to a happier work environment. So it's not only that they are paid because of their performance or because of their gravity of responsibility. This is also because of others non-financial factors. So again, if we are taking example of US components of executive, I've taken one example. So the lavish life insurance, company paid taxes, personalized parking slots as a benefit, as a perk, country club membership, health club membership, financial planning is provided to various executives, tax planning is provided to executive, one of the component of executive compensation, legal counseling, well-furnished house. So various components in terms of incentives and perquisites. For executive compensation, few terms which are important to mention here is golden handcuffs. So what do you mean by golden handcuffs? If you need to hire a highly specialized talent from a limited job pool, golden handcuffs are mandatory. So these jobs are very rare because there are very few candidates and lots of buyers. So in this kind of hiring, we pay a big bonus with the requirement that money be paid back if the employee leaves within 5 years. So kind of agreement with the with that executive that if they are leaving, they need to, the money be paid back if the employee leaves within 5 years. Golden parachute. This is a kind of agreement between a company and an employee. Normally, we use this term for executives only, specifying that employee will receive certain significant benefit if employment is terminated. So sometimes certain conditions, a change in the company ownership must be met, but often the cause of termination is unspecified. So one example is given for the golden parachute related to Walt Disney. We have already discussed previously non-financial awards. So it can be offering a supportive leadership environment, sufficient control over job, transparency, corporate governance, intellectual growth, emotional maturity, empowerment. So these are various indirect non-financial awards for the executive compensation. Whenever we design compensation structure, the compensable factors are very important, which can guide us for good, effective, economical, competitive compensation structure for executive compensation. The first is job-related experience. So suppose if we are designing any kind of salary structure for the top level management, following points to be considered, they are job-related experience, training time required, frequency of review of work, utilization of independent choice, more empowerment at a higher level. We need to take care of that factor. Frequency of reference to guidelines, frequency of work transferred through supervisor, the span of control, analytical complexity, and time spent in processing information. So various compensable factors are there in terms of compensable designing, the components of compensable design. When we create the same list for Indian scenario, so they are based on three important factors: job complexity, employer's ability to pay, and executive human capital, the talent management. One example is given for the components of salary for Oracle. If you go through the list, so the basic salary, conveyance, special allowances, gratuity, provident fund, HRA, traveling allowance, medical claim, bank facility. In nutshell, covering four major categories: base salary, allowances, incentives, and perquisites. So to summarize all previous slides, the two main components which are emerging: the base salary and the cash incentive or bonus, and what are various long-term incentive compensation. Now, when we use the HR word poaching, in poaching, if we want to hire any executive from outside, from a competitive environment, then important attraction factor is what is there in the designing of a salary structure in terms of long-term incentive compensation. Why should managers be paid more? Why CEOs be paid more? This is a question many times we have discussed. Intensive work, they are the talent, they are the key decision makers, they are the ultimate responsible members. There's a shortage of supply in terms of talent. To retain the high caliber personnel, we need to pay more, higher the motivation. This industry these days is becoming knowledge industry, and there are certain expectations, ethics, ethical personality. These days we talk about ethics and value system. So we have Enron case, we have Satyam case. To avoid scams and scandals at a larger macro level, we need to take care of ethical managers on the top. So that's why they should be paid more. Let's important next question. Who is to set the executive pay? Who will decide how much to pay? Do we need to have market survey? Do we need to follow some kind of industry standards? Do we need to follow some kind of legal guidelines? So who is to set the executive pay? So the term used in this slide is compensation committee. So the video which I am sending along with this PPT, along with the recording of the lecture, you need to see here. This is a 6 minutes video. Before you go to the next slide, you should listen to the video and then go to the next slide. Compensation committee. So be it ESOPs or be it any other component, a special committee of the board of directors is formed, which is known as compensation committee. Mostly consists of 3 to 5 members who are not managers within the organization. So this committee, as a corporate governance, it assures various stockholders, creditors, stakeholders, other interested parties that the management group is not unfairly taking advantage of its place of power to strip funds from the organization. They are paid as per the consensus of the compensation committee. They are paid as per the sector or industry-wide survey. They are paid as per the government guidelines also. So role of board of directors is very important in terms of compensation committee. So students, I request you to please listen to that video and then come to the next part of the video. Now here in the slide, CEO salary is compared to blue collar worker, and a table is there in front of you. In 1980, 42 times higher we have paid. 1990, 85 times. 2000, 531 times higher than the blue collar worker. Is it unreasonable to have this much of gap, or why they should be paid more? So we need to take care of everything in terms of designing and take care of the guidelines given by the compensation committee. So we have few theories. Now, till now what we have done, we have understood the meaning of executive compensation, why they are paid more, what are various components, objectives, what are various compensable factors to design executive compensation. Now we are coming to theories. The first theory is equity model. Is this person, so this person is referred to the executive, worth this much more than the other people, and why? So we should equate his or her contribution with the financial worth. So it is not easy to prove that executive is in fact worth that much more than others. So we need to take care of various macro indicators of the growth and the performance of the organization. We need to take care of ROI, we need to take care of EBIT, we need to take care of various liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, leverages ratio, to find out whether higher salaries of executives are justified or not. So the equity model says we need to pay more because the worth that person is contributing to the organization should be aligned with the financial factor of that organization. The second is performance motivation model. We use here one word, valence. So the valence means the attractiveness of the reward. To attract and to retain that talented person on the top, the reward should be attractive, so that that motivation is sustained for further continuation. So the performance motivation model based on this concept that retention should be taken into consideration. So the performance effort connection questions, whether it is the executive or other environment factors that lead to organization results for which the executive is rewarded. So next model is agency theory. This theory assumes that top executives, they are the agent for the stockholder, or you can use the word stakeholder also. This assumes that the interest of the stakeholders and the top executives are the same, which they are not. So this creates the agency problem. Shareholders then attempt to align the interest of the top level management with their own by designing attractive compensation packages. So they are the agents. They are taking tough decisions on the top. Agents should be paid good from their principal in terms of salary structure. The fourth is tournament theory. This theory views the promotion ladder in the organization as a series of tournaments. So promotion means one that tournament is entitled to the rewards from winning that tournament, and each level has higher rewards for winning. The number of tournaments, the tournaments we are denoting it to the positions. It diminishes as each step up the ladder is attained. The ultimate tournament is that of CEO. So the rewards must be high because probabilities are so low of winning. So in this way, the situation looks like the lottery system. So this tournament theory, totally justify why CEOs and why top level management, they should be paid more. Social comparison theory. In social comparison theory, people need to evaluate themselves in comparisons to others. For an executive to be seen as doing well, he must be rewarded. She must be rewarded as well as other executives, especially those who are perceived to be comparable to them. So one of the driving forces in forcing executive pay insistently upward, giving higher, is that these committees decide that their executive is better and therefore increase the compensation even more. So external equity we are justifying here. So various models, let's recap. Number one, if for the revision's sake, one is equity model. Efforts should be equated with financial rewards. Whatever efforts, whatever performance is, to retain that performance, we should pay more to motivate them. Executives are the agents. They are at a higher level of gravity of responsibility. They should be paid more. They are winning various levels and getting promotion. And ultimate series is CEO or the top level management. So they should get high because the probability of winning that tournament is, in terms of winning, it's low. So they should be given more. Driving forces that we need to compare them with other executives, social comparison, and then they should be paid more. Now this last slide is representing banking sector and pay of CEOs in banking sector. So previously RBI has mentioned the 3 private banks to cut CEOs pay. So Reserve Bank of India, citing its power as banking regulator, has put on hold the salaries of CEOs for 3 private sector banks. This happened in 2018, that they should reduce. And examples are there that ING, Vyasya, Axis Bank, Development Credit Bank, that they are not in sync with the market, they are inflated and they need to reduce. So this slide is also addressing that in terms of banking sector, RBI can also take care of salary structure of top level management of banks as a banking regulator. So students, we have discussed today executive compensation package. Please do listen to that video. Mentioned the time is mentioned in the recording that when to go to that executive compensation video. Thank you so much. There will be assignment for today's session also. I'll be sending video, I'll be sending PPT and assignment question, and do submit on time. Thank you so much and wish you all the best.